family of 19-year-old twin brothers, Qaadir and Naazir Lewis, found at the top of Bell Mountain in Hiawassee, Georgia, is ready to accept the fact that they took their own lives in March 2025. This comes after two independent homicide investigators hired by the family and independent autopsy reviews confirmed the finding. The family stated, "We have no choice but to believe the findings." This statement shows that there is doubt regarding the final analysis of the manner of death of Qaadir and Naazir Lewis. The PM channel looked at the GBI files, looked at the photos, listened to the interviews, and the consensus is that there is still extreme doubt regarding the findings of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Let's go on a journey. The PM channel will share with you interviews with some of the family members, the witnesses who found the bodies, the firefighter Scott Kerlin, and other information. Qaadir Malik Lewis and Naazir Rahim Lewis of Lawrenceville, Georgia, went missing on March 7, 2025, after missing a flight to Boston to visit friends. The twin brothers were found shot to death in a parking lot at the top of Bell Mountain in Georgia. Their bodies were found by a hiker on March 8, 2025.
But we did notice a black Nissan up there. We didn't see anybody in it, but it was just strange to us for another car to be up there that early, and we didn't see anybody around there at night. But the only thing that we saw weird was that black car, and it was like some sort of bottle. And I did take a picture. I can send it to you if you like.
That would be fantastic. If you have any pictures from up there.
Yeah, you can see the bottle. It's just like a black bottle with white labeling. And that's just, to me, that was just weird. We thought maybe somebody was up there drinking or something.
Yeah.
No, that was really it. We didn't get close to the car. We didn't want no problems or nothing. So
right.
Keep our distance.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of vehicle you guys drive?
We have a Kia Forte. I believe that's what it is. My wife's car.
Airplane tickets still in their wallets. The closest airport to Lawrenceville is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, a distance of 33 miles. The distance from Lawrenceville to Bell Mountain is almost 3 hours.
Leave the house, it stops by the gas station, then goes straight up to Bell Mountain. And I'm trying to remember where he was when he looked up the Sweetwater Creek, like the directions. But that's about the only thing I found so far as him looking at Bell Mountain was.
To the pain and anguish of this family is the knowledge that Scott Kerlin, a voluntary firefighter, took crime scene photos of the twins' bodies and shared them on social media to students. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has charged him with misdemeanor obstruction.
Now, we don't know just how many people shared this horrific picture of the twins' dead bodies, but tonight I confirmed with the Towns County Schools the picture had been shared among students.
There was a picture that was posted on Facebook.
Oh, okay. You mentioned that this morning.
All right, so tell me what's going on with that.
I don't know. He's a smart aleck. He's an adult, but he never grew up. I saw that and I said, oh my God, they were twins, whatever. Just what I've read on Facebook. And he said he posted some picture. And I said, how'd you get a picture? I've never seen a picture. Well, one of his coworkers sent it to him.
Okay.
So I guess Bill shared it and the administrator said something.
Just kind of walk me through, Scott, I guess from the time the call came out, what you responded to, what actions you took, and I'll ask some questions along the way if I need to, okay?
Yes, sir. I was actually sitting in the Zaxby's drive-thru when the call went out. Coincidentally, I heard the warning tone for EMS. I heard it was top of Bell Mountain. They gave small details. So I started heading this way. Heard that it's advised 2 unresponsive males, gunshots. I came up because I was hoping, even though they said that, I was hoping, if there's any chance of saving these guys, you want to get up here and see what you could do.
Yeah.
I said to them, and I did visual. I had a couple gunshot shells or empty along the walk there, when I pulled my truck up, I started seeing them.
Okay.
I want to go up and I need to see it for myself. I need to see if there's any life left in them. However I spoke at the time.
Yeah.
Caught it. Set my eyes on the two subjects there, and I did not even check their pulse because they were clearly dead. I walked maybe slightly around the bodies. I never even visualized the gun that was in between the one guy's legs right away, but I did walk around them to make sure they were just passed, just make sure I'm not, just because I very much learned it. I realized it was a crime scene at this point, so I'm doing what I can not to disturb anything. I didn't touch them on purpose and stuff because of that. And we had two dead guys in front of me. Just witnessed what everybody witnessed. I mean, the one guy had a sword across, a child's sword across his chest, and they were both placed there perfectly and that kind of stuff. And that was
okay.
The extent of it. And
I appreciate you identifying what you saw
and
noting that it is a crime scene and for people not to touch stuff. So that's very
sir,
good,
yes, sir,
and we appreciate that greatly.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Did anybody touch anything that you saw?
I don't believe so. I guess I was back just a little bit. I also saw that bag that was laying there.
Okay.
See, the guys were passed enough that I did not have to worry about. You didn't have to worry about me disturbing them with CPR or anything like that. They had bugs flying out of their mouths and stuff like that. I mean, they were very dead.
Yeah.
So it was. Luckily, I didn't even. I would have. I was close to checking the pulse, but I was comfortable not checking the pulse. And
good call.
With my just from what I saw, I just saw they were not alive.
Well, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this interview at 6:41 p.m. Telephone interview with Scott Shaddles on Thursday, June 12th, 2025, 1:33 p.m.
Talk with Scott Kerlin, the other firefighter, and the two paramedics, and Officer Wynn. And I just simply stated to Greg Taylor, the head paramedic, that something seemed awfully quiet up there. Just got a real weird feeling.
Did you see anybody touch the bodies? Did you see anybody touch any items that you would consider to be evidence or anything like that?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you see anybody else take any photographs while you were up there?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know that I actually saw Firefighter Kerlin take the pictures or take pictures. But when we got back down off the mountain, I stopped back by Station 1 to make sure he was okay, because it was pretty gruesome. I mean, we see things all the time, but that was just a little, out of the ordinary for us.
Definitely.
And he actually had his phone out. I saw the pictures on his phone. I said, I don't know what you're doing, Scott, but what I advise you to do is to erase those pictures right now. He was actually on the phone with Justin Ledford, who was the lieutenant on duty that morning. He said, yeah, I know. I heard Scott, yeah, I know. And then he handed me the phone, and I was previously a lieutenant with the Fire and Rescue Department here. And Justin said, hey, Scott, look, GBI has been in contact with the GBI. If anybody took any pictures, I said, look, I'm going to stop you right there. I've been doing it. I've been a firefighter almost 14 years here. I said, I know better than to take pictures of anything like that. And I said, I have nothing on my phone whatsoever. And I've advised Kerlin to erase the pictures that he took.
Yeah.
And that was it.
The Towns County volunteer firefighter accused of taking the pictures, Scott Kerlin, was charged with misdemeanor obstruction. Tonight, the attorney for Towns County told me there are no cameras at Bell Mountain. He said the area is not staffed. Now, the gate to Bell Mountain opens at 8 a.m. and closes at sundown. The Twins' family says the Twins' car was found inside the gates in the parking lot. Their phones, wallet, and plane tickets for that Boston trip were inside the car.
All right, today is Tuesday, April 8, 2025. Time's approximately 2:42 p.m. Special Agent Doug Glasgow is located at the Towns County Sheriff's Office for the purpose of interviewing Joe Yorkie. So Joe, I just, we're following up with some of this Bell Mountain stuff. Kind of my understanding that you checked the gate the morning of March 8th up there on Bell Mountain. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about. Maybe easiest just to give you the floor of what you can remember that day, around the time you checked it, that kind of thing. What you remember if you drove into the park or just the gate and turned around or whatever happened.
Okay. Yeah, we go in service for day shift at 5:45. And our responsibilities are to make sure that The Bell Mountain gate is open before sunrise. So when I drove up there, the gate was open. Of course, during that time, it was still dark. And since it was open, I turned around and I didn't go to the top. I turned around and went back down the mountain. Generally, when the gate's left open overnight, which obviously you're not supposed to be, we would drive up there and make sure it was clear, make sure that, people weren't there overnight.
What time is it supposed to be closed, or is the gate closed?
Well, the sign says that it opens at 8 and then closed by dusk or dark. We don't log it or anything, so I guess the only way is.
Okay. So you don't log closing it or opening it?
So it's not logged on the radio.
All right, today is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Time's approximately 5:25 p.m. Special Agent Derek Glasgow is located at the Towns County Sheriff's Office for the purpose of interviewing Zach Shelnut. I'm helping Sean out with this Bell Mountain case where the two boys were found up there. My understanding that gate up there is the Sheriff's Office usually locks and unlocks it.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I've worked both night shifts, and unless we're just in the area, it don't typically get locked.
Okay. Do you remember anything about that? So it would have been Friday, March 7th. Do you remember anything going on that night, or do you remember going up there at all? Or
No, I didn't go up there at all. I know that, because if I did, I'd lock the gate.
Yeah. Guess I'll just ask, anything suspicious that evening that you can remember? I mean,
no, nothing that strikes up memory.
What's the process for the gate? If y'all are in the area, you lock and unlock it? Is there a certain time that?
There's not a certain time. It's whoever's in zone 1 go up there and lock the gate. But again, like I said, both night shifts, I've talked to both supervisors, and I mean, yeah, sometimes we lock it, sometimes we don't.
Okay.
It's just because that's way up there, and there's only 2 of us.
So it's not uncommon for it to be.
No, it's not uncommon for it to be unlocked.
If you were to lock it, is there a certain time? Do you wait till a certain time to do it, or?
They said after sunset.
But I can conclude this interview at approximately 5:29 p.m.
Special Agent Alex Ball, located at Buford City Hall. I am interviewing Ian Ward. It is March 20th, 2025. Time is now 6:10 p.m. What kind of gun was it that was stolen?
It was a Springfield 1911 5-inch barrel, and it was black.
How long have you owned that gun?
I hadn't had it maybe 6 months when I got it. I didn't have it for very long before it was gone.
Okay.
March 11th, 2025, times 1:36. Khadijah, mother of Qaadir and Naazir Lewis.
So I just don't understand why it doesn't track for them to do something like that. They were both in school, they was working, it just doesn't make sense. I had no sense of depression coming out of it. So Naazir, when he was in high school, he ran track.
Okay.
Qaadir is he's more like methodical. He's all into space and philosophical stuff.
Right.
We'll have conversations like that all the time.
Real intellectual.
Yeah, that's more him. And Naazir is more the fun, more outgoing than Qaadir.
Yeah.
Just can't believe that they do it to themselves. They do that to me, the rest of the family. It just doesn't track that they would do something like that.
And you say Qaadir looked up Bell Mountain. Was it that day, or he been looked it up, or?
It looks like Qaadir's phone earlier that day looked at directions from Bell Mountain to Sweetwater Creek State Park. 7th at around 3:45 p.m. That seems
I think that's when he first called me and asked me about Sweetwater Creek. So they was going to Bell Mountain and then going to Sweetwater Creek.
Is that what he said? Or he called you that day asking about Sweetwater Creek?
Sweetwater Creek, yes.
What is the significance of Sweetwater Creek, or do you know?
We had family reunions there, and I know that they had like a clothing line, and they had supposed to been taking pictures because they asked for my brother's camera. Okay. That's what I thought the reason would be why he would ask about Sweetwater Creek. So yeah. I need to go from Bell Mountain all the way down to Sweetwater Creek. That's far. It just doesn't add up. I keep trying to. I just don't see them doing that to themselves. I can't see it. None of this is making sense at all.
They like driving the distance.
They don't. Because because they don't like to pay for gas.
In the mountains, they don't hike out there. They've never even been out there. They don't know nothing about Hiwassee, Georgia. They never even heard of Bell Mountains. So how did they end up right there?
Imagine them hurting each other because I never even seen them get into a fist fight before.
They had a huge support system. Like, we know them that they wouldn't do anything like this. Something happened in those mountains and we want answers.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation wants the family to believe that Qaadir and Naazir Lewis drove almost 2 hours to an unfamiliar place, Bell Mountain, and took their own lives. In the pitch-black darkness of the night, the evidence does not justify this conclusion. The positioning and the layout of the bodies look staged. The positioning of the weapon looks staged. The entry wounds makes self-deletion impossible to believe. The PM channel looked through all the files, the photos, listened to interviews with police officers, witnesses, family members. The photos on scene were too graphic to show. It was stated that Qaadir and Naazir were searching the internet regarding self-deletion. However, the investigators stated the search did not have a timestamp, so there is no way to discern when the searches were done or who they were done for.
I saw the GBI statement about one of the twins or someone searched suicide rates. Was that Naazir or Qaadir, and when was that?
I'm trying to remember. I'm just going from memory. I believe that was Qaadir's phone. We got that from his phone, but it did not show like a timestamp, if that makes sense. It shows it had been searched, but it didn't say when. Like it didn't have a timestamp to it. I believe one search was suicide rates, another one was suicide rates 2024. But again, it didn't show like a timestamp of when that was actually searched.
The interpretation of how these young men lost their lives is an individual assessment. The Towns County Sheriff's Department, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, medical examiner, wants the world to believe Qaadir and Naazir took their lives. It doesn't mean that it's true. There is one crucial question we want all of our viewers to discern. Did firefighter Scott Kerlin incriminate himself when he stated they were both placed there perfectly?
They were both placed there perfectly and that kind of stuff, and